Hi, welcome to Zigazoo Review. Fortnite finally detailed what the upgrades on their upcoming next gen version of the game is going to be. And there are some great news, but there are also some not so good news. This is what they said on their website. Fortnite on Xbox Series X and S. November 10 marks the arrival of not one but two brand new Xbox consoles where you can play Fortnite. On Xbox Series X and S, day one improvements to Fortnite include 4K resolution at 60 frames per second on Series X. Experience Fortnite on Xbox Live like never before on Xbox Series X with stunning 4K running at smooth 60 frames per second. Dynamic visuals and physics on Series X. Experience a more dynamic and interactive world with grass and trees responding to explosions, enhanced fluid simulations for smoke and liquid, cooler looking smoke and liquid effects, and all new storm and cloud effects. 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second on Series 1080p? We'll get back to that. Let's continue. 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second on Series S. Hop into any game mode and enjoy 1080p running at a smooth 60 frames per second. The Xbox Series S will support most of the visual enhancements available on Series X. Getting to matches faster. Loading performance has been significantly upgraded, not only improving texture loading, but also helping you get into a match from game startup much faster. Enhanced split screen. On Xbox Series X and S, split screen now supports 60 frames per second. Now let's go into the upgrades for the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 will be launching November 12th or November 19th depending on your territory. On PS5, day one improvements to Fortnite include 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, experience Fortnite on PlayStation like never before on PlayStation 5 with stunning 4K running at a smooth 60 frames per second, dynamic visuals and physics. Experience a more dynamic and interactive world. Well, that is the same as the X Series Xbox X, so I'm not going to read that part again. But this part is different. Haptic feedback makes it feel like you're holding the suppressed SMG or bolt-action sniper rifle. In addition to general vibration support, we've integrated haptic trigger feedback for ranged weapons on the new DualSense controller. Select your favorite mode from the PS5 home screen. Fortnite supports PS5's activities, starting with the ability to go straight into the Battle Royale lobby with either solo, duos, or squads selected. Once in the lobby, choose to queue up for your selected mode. Getting to matches faster. Loading performance has been significantly upgraded, not only improving texture loading but also helping you get into a match from game startup much faster. Enhanced split screen on PS5, split screen now supports 60 frames per second. So there you have it. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X will have 4K 60 frames per second support. And that is great news. I mean, it isn't 120 frames per second like it will be ideal, but 60 frames per second is pretty good. The other cool thing is that visuals are going to be obviously enhanced. And as they point out, the environment will actually react to grenade explosions. Pretty much it will make it like the world is reacting to the gameplay around it, which should make for a great experience. I've played Fortnite a few times. It is a pretty fun game. I don't understand the whole building mechanics of it, and that's usually what gets me. But nonetheless, it's a pretty fun game to play, and I can wait to play the next gen version of it. Now let's go to the bad news. And let's go to an opinion that I have that I think is a very popular opinion based on the response that my last video based on this opinion got. And you can see that video here. Trust me, people love it. So as I said on that video, once again, I am disappointed by the Xbox Series S. And the problem, again, with the Xbox Series S is that once again, a game is being downgraded from what you can get on its big brother, Xbox Series X, or the competition, the PS5. And I know, again, that the hardware is great. That is better than the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S. I agree with you on that. But this is a next-gen experience, supposedly. Yet, I am getting 1080p 60 frames per second, which is nothing to sneeze at, right? Those are great specs for last-gen consoles. Not for next-gen consoles. aka soon to be current gen consoles. Now we know that the Xbox Series S cannot run 4K, but it can run up to 1440p. Why can this game run at 1440p 60 frames per second if it can run at 4K 60 frames per second? Not only that, but there's vagueness on this statement. 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second on Series S. Hop into any game mode and enjoy 1080p running at smooth 60 frames per second. This is where the big statement comes in. Xbox Series S will support most of the visual enhancements available on the Series X, which means that you're not only going to get a downgraded game at 1080p 60 frames per second, but you won't be getting every single visual enhancement that the Xbox Series X and PS5 are getting. What those are, we don't know because they haven't detailed it. And the reason it's not detailed is because they don't want to lose people from getting the game on the Xbox Series S, or they just don't want to discourage people from getting the Xbox Series S. In my opinion, again, here it is, for all those people who liked that opinion last time, is I don't think that at this point, with everything we're seeing, the Xbox Series S is a console worth getting. And I have people saying, hey, Gears of War, blah, blah. So what? I am not going to play Gears of War 5 forever. That's technically an old game. Yes. Am I going to play it? Hell yeah, I'm going to play it. I started playing it on the Xbox One X and I didn't finish it. So I can't wait to play it on my Xbox Series X and finish the game with the enhancements. It's going to be amazing. And yes, you will probably have an opportunity to play that game on the Xbox Series S and enjoy those enhancements too. But those are first-party games. And as we know, Microsoft doesn't have that huge of a lineup for first-party games. So people being like, hey, they showed that Gears of War 5 is going to run amazing. Who cares? I'm not buying a console for Gears of War 5. I'm buying a console for every single game that's going to be available for me to play on that console. So your argument means nothing. And when you get statements like, oh, most visual enhancements will work on it, well, what isn't going to work? Am I technically going to see prettier trees and grass, but when I throw a grenade, there's going to be zero reaction on the environment for that because the Xbox Series S just cannot handle that? Is that what that is? Why can't they be more honest and say, this is what isn't going to work on the Xbox Series S? Just like they're telling us it's 1080p, 60 frames per second. So yes, here I am once again telling you that if you're in the market for a next-gen console, do not get an Xbox Series S. It isn't worth it. It's $300. And I get it, the price is attractive. Trust me. If I didn't have the money and I was hurting to try something next gen, I would probably consider that. But as I read the news about what this console is going to provide me, I will be more deterred from spending my money on that because I'm probably not going to get the best experience on it. And this is coming from someone who does not own a PlayStation, who hasn't owned a PlayStation since the PlayStation 1, since the first PlayStation. I've been an Xbox guy since the first PlayStation. I got the first Xbox and I had an Xbox every single generation after that. So to the haters, I'm not a PlayStation lover and fanboy or whatever you want to say. If you want to call me a fanboy, I'll take the Xbox fanboy first over the PlayStation 1. So no, I'm not an Xbox hater. I'm just thinking about cents and dollars and when you have it and when you don't have it. Because I've been in positions where I don't have the money to buy what I want to buy. And I will want someone to tell me this is the better option, even though it's going to cost you a little bit more. And that is where this is coming from. It is coming from, hey, if you have $300 in your pocket, just keep them in your pocket and save it until you can get the Xbox Series X. And if you know that you won't be able to get to $500 because that just sounds like a crazy amount of money, trust me, I've been there, then you know what? A PlayStation Digital Edition is only $400 and you'll get everything that the PlayStation with the disc has, except for the storage. You know, you're gonna be screwed on the storage, but that's gonna happen with either PlayStation you pick because it's just Sony. I don't know what the hell happened there, but that's what they did. So that's my take with this game. Another game for the Xbox Series S that isn't going to live up to the hype. That isn't going to live up to the next gen possibilities. And I know this video again is probably going to be super popular, which I'm okay with, because it is my opinion. And I'm okay if you don't like my opinion. That's what an opinion is. Some people like it, some people don't. Go ahead and tell me in the comments again what you think of this. Should you get the Xbox Series S? Does my comment make sense to you of where I'm coming from? Let me know in the comment section. That's it for me. Go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we put new videos. And I want to thank you very much for watching.